Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Super excited about this week's leadership Zoom. And I want to, first of all, wish you guys a happy payday. And thank you guys for hopping on every single week at this time, the same link. We've been doing this Zoom now for a year and a half, and it is always phenomenal. I think that it's probably my favorite Zoom every single week because we get to hear from people that have been in the business that have had those ups and downs, those crazy places that we're at right now. And we feel like we're all alone and we're the only ones that have ever been there. And I think getting on this Zoom every week just shows us that if somebody else has gone through what we've gone through, then hey, if they got over it, we can too. And right now has been crazy growth throughout the company. I know throughout our team, it's just been amazing. And we had that amazing goat training last month. And my guest today is somebody that was actually on the panel I was on in the big goat training we had last month. Her name is Misty Skelton, and I want to bring her on. And first of all, Misty, you have to unmute yourself probably.
Got it.
There you are. Yay. If you guys were on the goat training with us, I like hearing 5 minutes, first of all, is just not enough time, is it, Misty? It's not enough time. And I was like, people need to hear more from you. And I had to pull you on this Zoom today because I want you to share your story. And I want to know what some of those ups and downs in your business has been since you've been in, and just your background, because I don't even know like your background and your story. So that's kind of where I wanted to start today. And like kind of even take us back to what you did before network marketing. And did you do any other kind of network marketing before Lavelle? And if you did you like see any success with it? And then I kind of wanted to go into how you found Lavelle. So let's start there.
All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Thriving Tuesday. I am so excited to be here with you all. I'm honored that Lisa asked me to join you. She is amazing and such an inspiration, and you guys are so blessed with such awesome leadership. So be very, very grateful. I'll start off with my story. I am Misty Skelton from Columbia, Tennessee. I have actually been thriving for 3 years and about 4 months or so. I am a mom of 3. My oldest is just graduated from college. Of course, we didn't get to have the big graduation, but she went to UT Knoxville and graduated. And my middle little girl is going into 9th grade, and my little boy is going into 7th. So, mom of 3. My husband is a game warden. He works for the state, and he's gone all the time with all the different hunting seasons and all kinds of fun things, but we're a very, very busy family with sports and activities. I actually was a teacher. That is my background. I taught for about 10 years in a private school here in town where my children attend. I was an art teacher and the cheer coach there. So if you can't tell, I am a cheerleader. Been a cheerleader for a very long time. So that was sort of my job. And I worked every single day really to just pay my children's tuition. My husband, like I said, worked for the state. We were living paycheck to paycheck and just barely getting by. And I was just always looking for something to do. So when you talk about a background, if it was available, I've done it. Between any kind of makeup there was, Pampered Chef, It Works, Plexus Ambassador, Matilda Jane Rep. Guys, I've done it all. I was always looking for a little bit of extra. My son was really and is really big into baseball. We travel all over United States with his ball team. My daughter is an all-star cheerleader. Traveling all the time, it gets so expensive, and obviously, I was working to pay tuition and looking for something always, and nothing ever worked out. And if you guys have been in other things, you probably know the same thing. And so anyway, I was one of my girls that I coached at cheer. Her mom began this journey. with Thrive, and she was my music girl. She was the one that hit the play button when we did routines and different things like that. So she was at all of my practices. And she started just transforming. Like, she was a mom of twins, exhausted. She worked from home, selling insurance. And by the time she got to practice every day, she was worn out. Well, she started just coming to practice just full of energy, bouncing off the walls. And I was like, and not only that, she was sort of shrinking, like losing some weight. And I was like, I want to be a part of that. Whatever she's doing, I want to do that too. So I started talking to her, and she started telling me about it. And I was like, well, not too sure about that. That just too good to be true. I've done all that. Probably not going to be interested in that. So I actually watched her for 4 months, guys, on Facebook. She would post every single day about how she was waking up in the morning and cooking her kids a hot breakfast and enjoying the ride to school instead of screaming and yelling and, and always running late and not sitting on the couch after practice. She was actually enjoying coming to practice and enjoying her life. And so about the 4th month, I reached out to her and I said, okay, I'm ready. I want to know more about it. And she actually met me and brought me a 3-day mini experience, and it was a Sunday night. And that night, I can remember, I didn't even sleep. I was so excited. I was like, I want to thrive now. I had made my mind up right then and there that this was absolutely going to change my life. No doubt. There was no doubt. I was driven. I was ready. I was the heaviest I had been in my entire life, even through 3 pregnancies. I was exhausted, living in elastic, and I was ready for a change. So, like I said, I couldn't hardly sleep that night. Got up at 4:30 that morning. I remember this vividly. And I took my 3 steps, and I, like within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I was like, this is amazing. And I started organizing drawers and cabinets in our kitchen. And my husband came down, and he was like, what is going on? You have to go to work. And I was like, oh, I've got to go to work, And I actually documented this day on Facebook because my daughter and I were in my van at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't have to be at work till 7:30. Y'all, I was that teacher that pulled in on 2 wheels, and the principal was like, cover my class because I was always late. I was just that type of person, So I documented, I'm like, y'all, I'm in the van at 7 o'clock. So the neighbor calls, thought something was wrong, right? She's thriving with me, been a promoter since day 1 with me. Got to work, and my principal comes in, like, what are you doing? What has happened? I was like, I am thriving. This is amazing, and you have to join me. He signed up that day, been promoting with me ever since. So, my life was changed. I was a day 1 thriver, which I know is not for everybody, but guys, it was for me. I knew that day 1, my life was totally changed. So by day 3, my children were like, Mama, never be off Thrive. You have to have Thrive in our life, always. And by day 10, my husband was like, whatever you're doing, sign me up, because I want to be a part of that. So I actually started promoting from day 1. I did not become a customer. I signed up. I was a promoter, bought my $400 promoter pack, and hit the road running. I actually still have my notebook. That day I created a list of 60 people because I knew I wanted to be 12K. That was just a goal. Day 1, I set that goal. I said, I'm going for 12K. I want to get that auto bonus, guys. It was something I wanted to do. I had been driving a van that I loved very much, but my children were older, and I thought, I'm ready for something different. So that was just on my vision board. I wanted to get a Cadillac Escalade. So I made my list of 60 people and really started working. So I actually hit VIP 800, 1600, 4K. I hit 12K in 19 days. So, I was driven. When you say driven, I was driven. I shared with everybody I knew. I was putting Thrive in everybody's hands I could possibly fit Thrive in. So I hit that 12K, like I said, in 19 days. And I go to my husband, I'm like, get my car. And he was like, no, ma'am, we're not doing that just yet. Look, you've done a lot of things, Misty. You've tried a lot of things. Let's just see how this goes. And of course I was mad. I was like, I've worked too hard for this auto bonus and I want it, And so he said, well, you keep working. Let's work together. Let's build a team. And he's the smart one. And he thinks things through. I don't. I'm ready to go at all times. So by that October, he's like, okay, Misty, you're the real deal. You're really doing this, right? And I was like, I am. So we actually paid off my van, and I got my Cadillac Escalade delivered that December within my first year. And I was very, very excited about that. That January, I hit 40K. And I started, getting really, really excited by that time, guys. I was like, okay, I did 40K, 80K. If I hit 80K, maybe he'll let me retire early. So anyway, I put that on my vision board. And by that March, I was 80K. And my husband and I sat down and decided that we looked to see what I could do if I could work this business full time. Because I was fitting it in my nooks and crannies. And guys, I went 80K with the nooks and crannies of my day. I was a full-time teacher, mom of 3, cheer coach. We did it all. And I had 80K doing that by fitting it in my nooks and crannies. And I said, my next goal obviously is 200K. And I really wanted to focus on this business full time. And so in May of last year, I actually turned in my notice from teaching for 10 years. And I have been staying home and building this incredible business, and working full time from home. So that's a little bit about my story. And I know there were some other questions, Lisa. What else do you want me to talk about?
I was just thinking about, I think it's so, because we have new people on, we've got people on that have been in, it's so crazy. You and I started around the same time. I didn't even know that.
Yes.
What I think is so cool about your story is that you have done a lot of things. And what do you think personally is different about Lavelle than all of those other things? What made this so much easier to climb the comp plan and make money and all of it? What's your take?
Right. Great question. Well, number one, it works, without a doubt. I have, like I said, tried a lot of things, and I would do it for a few months and I would sort of stop. I'd get to a point where I wasn't really going anywhere else. And, I wanted more. And if I probably didn't mention to you guys, but my total weight loss is 103 pounds. So you're talking,
wow.
I've gone from a size 18 to a size 0. So now I get to wear cheetah leggings. Woo! But anyway, so that absolutely, and I have done, like I said, so many things, especially with weight loss. Weight loss has always been a struggle for me. I've always been a little bit bigger. I was, a little bit bigger, built, and so I've struggled so hard for so long, and nothing would work. I even, went to the doctor and did prescription medications, and I would lose the weight. But my husband said, Misty, you're so mean. You're so mean. So, that really wasn't for me either. And then when I would, sort of stop taking it, I would gain quadruple back. So if any of you have been in that situation as well, you probably understand that. More than anything, the pay, where I could actually replace my income. I have never worked for a company where I've been able to do that, ever. And I am a very competitive person by nature. I love running for bonuses. I love running for rank advancements. I hit the 80,000, 80K. I got that rank advancement. My husband got the 40K rank advancement. So, we are very driven people and have never been a part of a company that would actually pay me that. And a lot of times they would say, oh, if you hit this and do this and do that, and then I would run really hard and try, and I thought I did it, but there was always these little bitty, writing at the bottom, where I didn't read just all the way. And,
he's going to need to probably go out soon.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
good,
buddy.
So, that was the major thing for me. And being that I'm almost, I'm going into my 4th year, I've never stayed with a company that long, as far as in direct sales,
Right. And I get it. like I remember with my last company, you were with that company as well for a little bit. There was like these boxes you had to fill and everything. Everybody, like your success was determined by if other people held an auto ship or got to a certain nut. And it's not like that here. Like I think sometimes so many people that if you've never been in network marketing before, you totally take this comp plan for granted because you just don't get how difficult some of these other comp plans are to
Right.
get to climb the ladder. And with Lavelle, there's just no other company out there where you can get the product free as a customer or a promoter. You can run your business for free. You can help other people get the products free. You can get paid without ordering product. I mean, that's unheard of. Like all of it is unheard of. So it's so crazy. And in this 3.5 years, oh, the other thing you mentioned that I thought was so key, I hope people like took note, is right away you made a list of 60 people. Some people call it a hundreds list. Some people call it your, chicken soup list, whatever. But you guys, it is so important when you get started, jump in. Like Misty, you didn't know what you were doing. You just were excited. I mean, you can tell with your like excitement that sells. Like you were just going to people saying, this is amazing. You need to try it. Like you have got to try this. It is that good. And you got to work. You didn't worry about what if somebody says no, what are they going to think? You just jumped in and and I'm sure you did get no's.
I
And
did.
I'm
I did. And I didn't even care what made it up. I mean, I didn't know everything about the products, but it did not matter. I knew it worked. I knew I was feeling amazing, and I would learn that later.
right. Yeah. You like learn as you go. I
Yes,
mean,
I would connect them up with somebody who did. So, you know,
well, and speaking of that, do you think like third party credibility, like bringing in an upline or somebody else, did that help you a lot in the beginning?
absolutely, because like, unless you can tell already, I'm like, woo, let's go, and I was that way. And like I said, I didn't know exactly why I was feeling this way. All I knew is I had taken exactly right, and I felt incredible. And so when people would ask, now what's in it? Do you think it's going to work with me? I mean, all these questions, I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to connect you with somebody who does. And that's all it took. The thing is that I was already trusted in the community, and I think that's so important is that you are involved. And if you're not involved, you need to get involved, whether it's in groups or activities with your children or your family or your pets or whatever it is. But I was already in that sort of organizations within lots of people. And, if Misty says it's working, it's working. And not only that, guys, I was losing weight because my mind was made up. I made it up. I told you that day one. I mean, I knew this was going to work and it was going to absolutely change my life. And when I started transforming right before the eyes, I don't know if we're not connected on Facebook, you need to connect with me. I held up a pair of my pants that I wore, my favorite pair of pants. And when you see it and were able to witness what was happening to me, there was no doubt. And I'm an excited person anyway, but there were people that saw me after working all day, 7 and 8 hours teaching other people's children. They would see me with my own kids and would hear me say, what do you need next? What can I do for you? It was just like my patience and my, I was just done by the end of the day. I'm still a happy person, but even happy people get tired, right?
Yeah, I think one of the things too that I think is so important that a lot of people miss is being a product of the product, because you won't have the passion, the excitement, any of it. If you're not showing the outside world, hey, I'm using this product, this is working for me, showing, and it doesn't have to be before and after pictures for everybody. I mean, Thrive is not a weight loss product. It's not even deemed as that. So I think a lot of people think, well, I don't have a before and after picture to show. It's not about that. It's about getting passionate about 1, 2, 3 of our products and then just going nuts with it. But I think a lot of people, they're not where they want to be because their passion is not there, because they're not using the products daily. They're not doing the do, right? They're not getting up every day. And it doesn't even have to, I've had people tell me before, well, I can't use all 3 steps. Or I feel like we have 12 products, like 15 now products that you can dive into and become passionate about. It doesn't even necessarily have to be the Thrive experience, but you've got to get on something, use it religiously, and let it change your life so other people see that. 3.5 years is a while. And I know for me, for sure, in the last 3.5 years, it hasn't all been up. There's been some crappy stuff. Personally, there's been some crappy stuff. There's been some crappy stuff on my team. There's been times where, I was just saying the other day, the leg that got me to 200K, like my big heavy leg, isn't even here anymore. Like, it's just like sad to me. It's like, where did these people go? Or, I've lost people, but I've gained people. There's been so many ups and downs. I've never gotten a bonus. Like, I've missed every single freaking bonus at Lavelle. It's like, what the heck? Except my VAP 100 and 1600 and like auto. But like, I remember the month after I went 200K is when they announced you could get $200,000 bonus or the bonus the first year I was in. And I was like, I just went there. Dang it. Like, it was one of those things. But what kind of ups and downs have you had that you feel like maybe others on this Zoom might be hitting a wall or going through? Or
Absolutely. Like I said, I came out running, hit all my bonuses, and my husband and I actually hit the rank advancement bonuses, the 80 and the 40 that I talked about. And that summer, this was last June, I brought in a promoter that was, if we stood side by side together and put our heads, we were just made for each other. She runs like I run. And sometimes it's hard to find that connection with somebody. I had several promoters with me that helped me get to 80K, and we were working really hard together. We were close. If you watch me on the GOAT, you know that I'm very community oriented. We have Thrive at Fives weekly at my house. Every Thursday night, my team would come together and bring in non-thrivers, and I host low carb, low sugar meals, and I help with grocery lists, and we do all kinds of things, and had been doing that for a long time. So we hit the 80K. I brought in this brand new promoter who she was just going to come out running just like I did, and she did. And y'all, when that happened, my promoters that had been with me since day one, they got mad. They got sad. They got felt left behind. There was created a lot of drama that, whether I was spending too much time with one promoter or she was outdoing everybody and so quickly. And, it was just a really hard time for our team. So when I was actually 80K last summer, we were actually a $160,000 team. We were on our way to 200K. We just knew this was our summer, and this was last year. And when I brought this new promoter in, she started bringing in a new team. I just knew this was happening. Well, it seemed like overnight that my, ones that had been with me for so long and really sort of got upset with me just sort of fell off. And before I knew it, our volume was back down to 80,000, and they weren't showing up. They weren't participating. Some weren't even ordering, weren't helping their customers anymore. It was a really tough time. And everybody deals with competition and changes differently, and for some of my promoters, it was really rough. So we went through a really struggling time. I maintained my 80K through all of that so I could continue to get my bonuses. But I did lose, like you talked about, a very, very strong leg, actually a leg that had two 12Ks on it, just because they felt left behind or left out. And I didn't intentionally do anything. And I really, looking back, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just where they were in their journey. And it was where they were personally. And so I really worked hard over the next few months to figure out how I could get us back, how we could, do this, reaching out to new promoters, reaching out to new blood, really, working hard to work with the customers that were sort of left behind by these promoters that decided they didn't, want to run anymore. So I did that, and finally came up with sort of a plan to try to bring our family, and we call ourselves family, back together. And it's been a lot of work, but it's been 100% worth it. So what I did is, like I talked about my private fives on Thursday nights, we continue doing that. I actually started holding Lavelle like locals and bringing in some 200Ks to our community, and really started firing everybody up. And I would invite those promoters that were sort of felt left behind or left out in, and gave them big jobs and big opportunities, and started to see a turnaround come. And then of course, Corona hit, but that sort of slowed down our togetherness. So what we did when that happened, I didn't want to lose that momentum. I didn't want to lose it. We were getting to a good place. And so we started Power Hour every single morning at 8 a.m. And some of you may do a Power Hour, but we jump on Zoom every morning at 8. There's about 20 to 25 of us that jump on, and we call it Power Hour, and we work together. Every 10 minutes we're doing something different. It's really about engagement on social media and showing that we're all doing the same thing, and we're all a community, and we're working really hard together. And we actually do a second Power Hour in the evening for all of my people that work full-time jobs and can't be with us in the morning. We do another Power Hour at night from 8 to 9, and we all come back together, or some of us that weren't there in the morning come in the afternoon or the evening. And we also do a Sunday night huddle time togetherness, where we do shout outs and get ready for the week. And we do that on Sunday nights at 8, and it's a 20-minute just get in there and get it done, Sunday shout outs, and just get ready for the week. And we are now starting to see our community come back together, and our thriving family come back together. And we're on track to be 200K this month. Everything is looking good. We just had a promoter hit 40K, and actually 6 promoters hit 4K this week. So we are back at it and on fire. So we have been through some tough times, but we are bouncing back and ready to take on 200K.
Hey, we just had somebody ask if you could hold up your Power Hour paper so they can screenshot it.
Yeah, and I'll send it to you, and let you look at it, and send it out to your teams. It's an incredible time, guys. I don't know, not only is it family, but for instance, last night during Power Hour, okay, I keep note cards here on my desk, and of people that I have given many experiences to that may have not taken it yet, may have taken it and never returned my call after that 3rd day. I sort of keep a box so I can go back and look at it periodically and see if I can touch base. Well, during my engagement time last night, we have a 10-minute engagement, and where we just comment or ask a question on their Facebook post and different things. I engaged with this particular person last night. Within 9 minutes, she was in my inbox and said, "Misty, I forgot to call you after that 3-day mini." Y'all, she had it Thanksgiving. She ordered as soon as I got off of Power Hour last night. So, I mean, it's incredible what the time together, one, as a team, and two, is building your following, building your, engagement on your social media platforms. So yeah, I'll absolutely share that with you, and you can share it with your team.
COVID obviously is going to end at some point. And I know one of the hugest ways that you've built and connected your team and all of that, because a lot of people, a lot of them say I don't have a local team, and I just don't even, you can't get a local team unless you start somewhere, right? I mean, with like a Thrive After 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest questions I always get is, okay, well, if I do a Thrive After 5, what does that look like? Like, what am I supposed to do? So what did that look like for you? Or does it look like when you start back up? I mean, is it like you invite promoters, they invite people, then do you do a presentation? Is it more relaxed? Where do you do it at? Like, what does this look like?
Great question. And if, on Facebook, you'll see I sort of video these, so they're on my Facebook page. But what I do is I do an invite on Sunday nights, I just announce what we're going to be covering, and if I have special guests that will be speaking. And then by Tuesday, I have the menu up. And again, you don't have to do all of this. This is what I choose to do. Okay. this is just my choice. By Tuesday night, I have my menu up, and by Thursday, an hour before the event, I go live. And I talk about what we're going to be eating, and I talk about what we're going to be covering. And that sort of just triggers some people to remind them, oh, I got to get to Misty. So I host these at my house. My husband is an officer, so I feel safe doing that. I never do it without him. I know some people feel like I'm not letting him by my house, but we're a very small community. I have 4,000 thrivers here in my community. This is where I am based out of, if that makes sense. I don't have a lot of thrivers outside of my community, which is what I'm working on now. So we're a very, very driven, thriving community here. So I open my home and people start arriving about 5 o'clock, and we eat. And again, I sort of have transformed, losing the weight with Thrive and incorporating a low carb, low sugar, healthy lifestyle for myself and my family. I'm just really cooking supper for my kids. I mean, it's really all it is. It's really no different. I'm just cooking a little extra. So we actually eat, and then I share the recipes for the night, and then I share the grocery list. And everybody gets to take that home with them. After about 30 minutes or so, this is a come and go. So there's people coming in and out all the time. I usually end by 8 because my kids have to settle and get homework. But during the time, I always stand up and I always do a presentation with the 3 simple steps. And as Skelton came out, I featured that. I mean, different things, that I feature each week. I always have all the products out on the table, and people can go home with experiences or, samples of the products, if they're not thriving with this yet. So all of my promoters are invited, and I try to split it up to where 3 or 4 are speaking with me each Thursday night. We all invite non-thrivers, and I always make it a competition, whether it is a cash prize, if it is a Thrive credits or Thrive product, or I donate to your favorite charity. It doesn't matter. But if you show up and you show out, I will reward you. So, and that's what we're all about. And they can choose what they want. I make sure, because there are some people that are not driven by money. That means nothing to them. They want products. And then I've got some that it would mean the world to them to donate to their favorite charity, whatever that might be. That drives them, so I try to always make it to where I can hit everybody's soft spot. So the more non-thrivers you bring, you get entered into the prize, and the highest winner wins. We have canned food drives. We have coat drives. We have backpack drives. So whatever's going on in our community, I get behind it 100%, and we all participate. And I think, doing that on a weekly basis has really built our team and our community. And, being that the COVID we talked about, I mean, it has really hit our families hard, not being together, and these power hours have meant so much. And if you watched me on The GOAT, we do bingo nights, we do scavenger hunts, we do Taco Tuesday cooking night. So we're still involved with our community. We're just not hugging and touching each other.
I wanted to go back for a second, and all that stuff that you went through last year. I think whether you have like a really small team or a big team, drama plays a part sometimes. It's unfortunate, but it does. And people decide to leave, things happen. And so many people, when they hit that wall, when that thing happens, they quit, they give up, they get so deflated that they just stop working. And, I just want to commend you on you kept going, and look at now you are in a month that you may go 200K. I mean, that's incredible. It's because you didn't give up. I mean, you had 2 choices. It was either I'm going to be defeated or I'm going to keep going. You chose to keep going, and this is where you are a year later. And I hope that everyone on this Zoom, whatever season you're in, if you are in a hard season right now or going through something on your team, I hope you really see that message that, well, look where Misty is a year later. A year from this date last year, she felt at a low point. She thought, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, it was a completely different business than it is today. And it's because she stuck with it and kept going. And I hope that everybody really hears the moral of that story is don't quit. And if you guys get on this Zoom every week, I think you've heard over and over again how many people have seen success in this business have fallen out of that success, and how many of them have always gotten back there because they stuck with it. The only people that don't go back are the ones that quit. You're never going to know. So don't let yourself down and don't disappoint yourself by quitting. um, Misty, I think one of the hugest lessons too with you is that you can tell you really build a family and community, and it's about consistency. Like whether two people show up at your house or 50, you still do this every week. It's there, it's consistent. And then you didn't let COVID stop you. You just turned it around and now we're going to do it this way. But you're still keeping people together. And I think that is such a huge, huge lesson. What, and being in 3.5 years, oh my gosh, I feel like I have run through my friends and family either know what I do, they've already joined me, or they're just not interested. And I have to continue to build my network. And for me, it's always been out and about. But
Mhm.
then COVID hit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really have to start digging into social media even more.
Right.
What have you been doing to add new people and stuff like that?
Right. Great question. And this is not to brag or anything. I just want you to know it can be done. My PPA today is 74.
Holy,
Y'all,
what?
74. Yes. And I've been with this company 3.5 years, and my PPA is 74. So don't.
We need to know exactly what
Yeah.
you're doing.
So I have been, y'all, I decided, I said, with this power hour and our focus on IPA, I made a goal that I want 100 PPA by the end of the month. So, and my 90 day is 115. So, I have focused 100% on bringing in new people, because like we talked about, bringing in this brand new promoter, this new leg, and sort of I lost some and now we're gaining back. But if you all are experienced with the business, you really can't have a strong leg. Okay, you got to work hard to keep up, right? So I knew that I had to get to work to keep up with all of my runners. I couldn't slow up, and I couldn't let Corona slow me down. So what I decided to do was I actually printed off, and I don't have it right here in front of me, I printed off my customer list, my personal customer list, and I started reaching out to every single one of them, okay? And what I did is I said, okay, you've been thriving with me for a while now. Did you know, and if I have not told you, and I know I had, but I just wanted to make it in their, in their boats, that you can thrive for free. And I'm going to help you do that. We're going to do that this month before June. This is what we're doing. We're going to work together. We're going to do this. And so the first thing I asked them for was a fun picture of themselves with their 3 steps or with their favorite step, whatever it was. Next, I asked for their favorite product. Which one did they love the best? Third, I asked for what was their favorite thing that's happened in their life, whether it was the energy, if it was weight loss, if it was motivation to go walking in the afternoons, whatever it was, I needed to know that. Okay, so that was their spotlight. Then I said, give me 2 to 3 to 4 names of your closest friends and family. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you connect us together. So either group chat, group message, get us on a 3-way call, and I'm going to tell them about what Thrive has done for me and for you. And then I'm going to tell them that they want a happy from us because they're so amazing. And in these happies, I just do like a little Amazon cute bag. I do a little cute card, and I send them a 3-day mini experience that actually I break up into 4 days. And I'll share this with you too, Lisa. But I have 4-day mini experiences here. We do a 3-day, but it's broken into 4. And I send them a happy. Okay, so that's a spotlight, and then I do a happy, and and I'm really not investing much into this because I'm using my credits that I earned, my free Thrive that I earned from this amazing company. And I may change, a commission check over here and there to buy more, products. So I'm not really investing a whole lot out of our family budget. Okay. So I have to be mindful of that as well. But after I get all of this information, I send out these happies. to their friends and family, at least 2, if not 3. And then I do a Saturday or Sunday shout out. And it's like a spotlight. And I post them on Facebook with a cute little picture of them and tell all about the awesome things that Thrive is doing for them. I tag them and I tag our entire team, and everybody starts posting on it. We're so excited. Then we start posting our transformation pictures or our favorite thing about Thrive. And the next thing you know, their friends and family are like, whoa, wait a minute. This sounds exciting. You know, they want to know more, and then I get them connected as well. And they're thriving for free now, you know, in May going into June. And 2, those are my customers. They're increasing my PPA. And then I'm turning around and doing it for them. Okay, so then they're doing their 2 people. And guys, I'm going to show you really quickly. That is my board there. That's my whiteboard. And I just keep it going. You know, I write on one side my 4-day experiences, and as they turn in order, I'll mark them out, put them over here, and then I start the new one. So, I mean, you know, it is working, you know, especially the spotlights. People love it. There's some, I mean, they don't mind if they're paying their Thrive, but then you've got some that really would love your help and your extra energy to put into them to help them thrive for free. And guys, it's turning my business around. So that's sort of what I'm doing. I know I went really fast, so if you got any questions.
Can I just tell you, first of all, you can brag all day. I don't even think my PPA for the year is 74. So what the heck is that? You know, and I want to say, like, if people are not digging in, gosh, I hope you guys took notes this call, because if people are not digging into their free and current customers, they're missing out, because that's a never ending pool of new people. Because even if you get one person out of those people, then that one person leads to their people, and then their people, and then their people. It's just so crazy. But you have to put in the work. Like, what you're doing is not easy. What you're doing it's time consuming. But guess what? Your PPA 74 and your check's amazing. I bet your check is ridiculous. And you guys,
the double bonus, so woo!
Right. Is it like, what are you willing to work for? What are you willing to do? Misty's where she's at because she's willing to do what she's telling you guys. Are you willing to do that too? I mean, it's an eye opener. I'm like, dang, I'm not doing enough. Like that. This was an eye opener for me today. I'm like, okay, I could be doing so much more. Now, one question: when you do the shout out on Sundays for that customer, do you say in the shout out, "This is my customer"?
I don't. Mm-mm. No, because, you know, and they don't mind. The customers or the promoters, they don't mind because, you know, I actually had one last week, and if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see her. She's absolutely gorgeous, and like 50 people commented on it. Y'all, next day she flipped to promoter. We're headed for VIP 800. So I don't ever say that, because you never know. The door's always open. You don't have to be a customer forever. And you start getting 3 or 4 people interested, and they're like, oh, I don't even have to experience it. I want to just jump in and order. And so now, you know, we're running for bonuses. So that's sort of my mindset on that. Because
so you kind of just say, oh my gosh, this is my friend so-and-so. This is her story. This is what Thrive has done for her.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Or I'll say, I'll do 2 big stars, and I'll say Thrive Star Alert, guys, you know, and I'll make it to where people want to look at it. And so we go that route.
That's freaking amazing. Well, I know that you have another engagement in 15 minutes. So I promised you I would let you go early, even though I want to keep talking to you forever. Do you have one thing you would like to just, if there was one thing to end this out that you could totally like, look, every single person on here needs to know this and this only to succeed, what would it be?
Showing up, consistency, being consistent. My number, it is written on my bathroom mirror that nobody better touch with eyeliner. I will show up. I am consistent, you know, and I am in our power hours, and I did this even before then. I did my I ams. I have 10 a day, and I am thankful for it, and I have 5 a day. And without a doubt, I show up and I'm consistent. No matter what, you know, whether I'm at the beach, or, you know, I'm working from home, or I'm at my baseball my little boy's baseball game. I'm showing up and I'm working and fitting this into my life, okay? It isn't my life. I mean, this is just part of my life and my family's life. But that is the number one, consistency. And also the next thing I would, and I know you didn't ask for two, but I'm going to give you two. Thriving for free, your customers thriving for free, guys, that is golden. That is in the future fortune. It's everything. Get your thrivers thriving for free. Make it your mission. Make it your goal. You know, if they're thriving for free, they're staying with you guys, and they're going to bring on more and more and more. So that's just two things. Sorry.
No, that's perfect. And your best promoters come from customers, like people that are
That's
passionate.
right.
It's
That's
so
right.
cute. Well,
Yeah.
Misty, thank you so freaking much for hopping on with us today. I know a lot of people had a lot of aha moments, and I can tell you, you gave some awesome
Sorry.
tips, and I love your story. But more than anything, I think my favorite part of this call is the fact that you are rocking it out with a freaking 74 PPA, and you have been in 3.5 years. Like, you haven't slowed down, you haven't stopped, you haven't gotten complacent, you walk the walk. And wow, I've got to say, I have to think that that is a record right now in Lavelle, or that's got to be something. You have got to be top PPA in the company. I have, like, you have to be.
I don't know about that. I don't know. But the thing is, too, is that not only is mine, but the few that are running with me, there's a 67, 54, 37.
Wow.
Those that are showing up for this, guys, we're rocking it. Okay? We're rocking
And
it.
you don't need your whole team to show up. I think so
No.
many times we're focusing on the people not working.
Right.
If you focus on the 3 or 4 on your team that are killing it, you guys, that'll
Absolutely.
take you to the top.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
So,
love it. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much, Misty. I appreciate you. You guys, for all of you that you're wishing right now that you had somebody on this that didn't show up, this is recorded as usual. So we definitely will get out the recording right after this. Don't forget, in 10 short minutes, we get paid. It is Payday Tuesday. And as you guys all know, I always say Tuesday is the best day to make a post, just showing what your paycheck did for you this week. Those are the posts that I get the most reaction out of from people watching. It's usually one of those payday posts that somebody messages me like, how are you doing that? How did you pay for that? And it doesn't have to be big, you guys. It can be groceries, gas in your car, those little things that people want. So do not ever think that what you're making right now, whether it's $5 extra a week, isn't something someone else wants, because I promise you it is. Just remember that. So thank you guys for hopping on. Thank you for pouring into yourselves. You guys are incredible. And Misty, thank you again for taking time out of your day to pour into us. You guys have an amazing Tuesday. We will be back next week, same time, same place, new interview, same link. Also, guys, so don't forget to save this link in your phone. We'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Thank you.